Peach, you're so cool. And with my star, we're gonna roll. Peach, understand, I'm gonna love you to the very end. Peaches, 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 peaches. Okay, that's enough of that. Hit that intro, y'all. Welcome to the Who Dat Weekly, featuring the third Dale's finest, Christopher J. Spires. Happy Halloween, everybody. What's up, Jerry? I see ya. Happy Halloween to you and Who Dat, baby. Yes, I am Bowser today. I am the glorious Bowser, because, you know, I had to be Bowser this year, because I'm a diehard Mario fanatic, so why not? And all my friends were Mario characters this year. I'll have to post pictures if I can. I don't know if I can here or not, but we'll worry about that later. So, but the most important thing is I sung Peaches. That's all I care about. So, welcome to the show, everybody. So today we're going to be talking more about Tyler Shough and what we're expecting in his first ever start against the Los Angeles Rams. We're also going to go over the matchup against the Los Angeles Rams, what we're to expect, what are the key things to beat the Rams, and we might talk a little college football just for the fun of it, because why not? So, because there's a lot to cover. In fact, there's actually a couple shenanigans I want to be talking about, because they're actually kind of hilarious and intriguing at the same time. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into the show. So if you want a shout out, by the way, just comment below if you want a shout out. I will hit you up on my next video. And here's the thing, you gotta like and subscribe first. Just saying. So, alrighty, gang. So, we're gonna be so Tyler Shough versus the Rams, or really the Saints versus Rams matchup should be intriguing in a sense, mainly because Tyler Shough is the starting quarterback for this Sunday, and it's a lot is riding on how good is Tyler Shough going to be against a team that has been notoriously in the playoffs consistently, despite how that team has been performing over the years. In fact, this is a team that we always kind of rule out because they just usually don't look good. But yet somehow they make a late enough push to where they make the playoffs and they stick around for a bit. They might make it to the divisional round. They might make it to the what's it called, the NFC Championship. You just never know with the Los Angeles Rams. They're a team that can make a mess when you least expect it. And this year, the Rams in particular are pretty good. They're pretty good, and they got a pretty good front four defense, and it should be an interesting matchup, because how will Tyler Shough adjust being a first-time NFL starter against a playoff contender kind of team? That's where it gets interesting. Now, as the team as a whole, I'm talking about the Saints here, the team as a whole is left to be desired, as we all already know. So the bigger question is, how can the Saints function under a rookie quarterback making his first NFL start? Will we see an offense come to life? Will we see the same offense we've been seeing every week so far this season? Will the defense continue to make strides uphill? And hopefully they do, especially against the Los Angeles Rams, who right now rank 6th in the nation, or 6th in the league in total offense. They have, let's see, how many yards they got. They got so far 2,521 yards. They average about 360.1 yards per game. Passing-wise, they have 1,797 yards with an average of 256.7 per game. Running is probably their weaker point. They are just under 1,000 yards with 724 yards, with 103 yards per game, which is still pretty good. Don't get me wrong. And they have a whole in total points they've scored so far this season, 175, which they average 25 points per game. So, and as Drew Brees has been nice enough to say, that's how you win football games, when you score more than 20 points a game. So the Rams are definitely doing something right. The thing, though, is that does not apply to the Saints, period. That's sadly the case. The Saints are like in the bottom 20s, like they're like 25th overall in their offensive production. They barely, let's see, how many points are they average right here? They are averaging 16 points a game. That's not ideal. Thank you, Jerry. I got this off as Spirit of Halloween. I'm sure everybody loves the Spirit of Halloween. So, but yeah, so like this matchup offensively is going to be challenging for our defense altogether. But our defense has been able to like slow down some pretty good offenses in the last few weeks. Like last week, we thought the Bucs would absolutely run us over. They did no such thing. They've also slowed down a Buffalo Bills offense once before, and while we still lost to them, they were able to slow them down for the majority of the game, only to just cave in the end. So, can the defense hold out as long as they can in any way possible to give us any kind of chance? Do I think we will win? Probably not, because, I mean, let's face it, y'all. Like, the Saints aren't that good this year, sadly. And on top of that, the Rams got something going for them this year, and it's hard to ignore that. So let's see. The Rams' current record is 5-2. They're actually tied with the Seattle Seahawks, and they're one game above the San Francisco 49ers. In fact, that division is pretty competitive. And then you got Arizona, who's sitting there 2-5. So, yeah, so like the Rams are a team to be reckoned with, and the sucky part is it's at their house this year. So that's what makes it even more difficult, and that's what makes this matchup very intriguing, because how will Tyler Shuck adjust his first road start against a playoff-worthy team? So the thing I want to see out of Tyler Shuck is, can I see him push that ball downfield effectively? That's something that I would like to see, because as y'all heard in my previous video, I think it was on Wednesday or something like that I made it. But on Wednesday I had discussed how there was a significant difference between him pushing the ball downfield compared to Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler kept doing the whole short pass game, the dink and doink kind of game. And while it's effective for a short term, it's not going to get you much offense. It's not going to help your offense go down the field effectively. You have to take your shots down the field, but the most important thing, you also have to keep the ball safely. Like, make your passes count. Like, make sure you're not overthrowing. Make sure that it's not going to the other team, most importantly. Because in the last 2 weeks now, we've had 6 to 7 turnovers, all by one guy. And that's just not ideal. Now, granted, one of the turnovers was by Rashid Shaheed. So, like, I'm not saying everything's on the Rattler, don't get me wrong. But a lot of the turnovers have been coming from him the most, not from his surrounding players. But the surrounding players aren't out of the spotlight quite yet, because they also have been having issues securing the football. So playing ball security is a huge factor that we need to properly execute it, is what I'm trying to say. So if we can execute ball security well under Tyler Shuck's regime, and he is supposedly going to be playing out the rest of the season, no matter how bad the team looks, which, I mean, why not? I mean, we got nothing else to lose. We're not going to the playoffs this year. We got nothing. Like, just take your shots, take your chances, see what you can make, or see what this team can be made of under a different quarterback. So, well, pushing the ball downfield is my thing. I want to see how Tyler Shuck adjusts. Can he get his get the ball to his best playmakers in Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave? And I guess you have to include him, Juwan Johnson, even though I don't really count him as a playmaker because he's useless. So, but in fact, he's at, you know what? Here's a great idea. He's one of the tricks on this team. So who's a treat and who's a trick? There we go. Chris Olave, I would say, is a treat because he's actually been pretty good, and he did really well under Spencer Rattler. He had the most targets thrown to him. He's caught a majority of his passes. Now, he has dropped a bunch of them, too. Don't get me wrong. Some of them were just like either a bad pass by Rattler or simply put, he just did not secure the football very well. So he's a treat for sure. Rashid, sadly, has been a trick. He hasn't been himself at all this season. He's had only one big pass to him. That was a few weeks ago against the Giants game. And we haven't seen much out of Rashid Shaheed this year. And it's not like the injury had an effect on him from last season. I don't think that's had any impact. I just don't think he's getting the ball. And on top of that, I don't think he's like getting open well enough for when Rattler was the quarterback that he just wouldn't get the football. And of course, Rattler was too busy playing ball security in his first couple weeks. And you can only do so much. And that's why I really want to see Tyler Shough really push that ball downfield, get to his playmakers, and see what they can do. Like, what's the worst you could do? Like, I mean, we're not expected to win this game to begin with. I expect us to lose, per usual. Now, if we win, that would be great. Because I feel like this game, especially with the Rams trying to contend for their division as we speak, I feel that this game is considered a trap game to the Rams fans as we speak. Because, I mean, it's got trap game written all over us. We're one of the worst teams in the NFL, sadly, and we got a starting quarterback they had never seen play before. And on top of that, Shough kind of has a slight, and I mean a very slight advantage over the Rams. He actually practiced against them right before the preseason began. Or actually during preseason, excuse me. So it was like after the Chargers game, they had a few practice sessions with the Los Angeles Rams, and Tyler Shough took a majority of the stats. And according to Nick Underhill and company, they said he looked pretty good against them. So, now I'm not going to say like that's the key to our victory for this Sunday because like I said, I don't think this is a victory coming up, but should be an entertaining game nonetheless to see how well our offense plays. Now, there's a good chance our offense could simply stink the entire game against a really talented Rams defense that is currently ranked 13th overall, also among the top 10 teams in turnovers. They have a +3 turnover ratio compared to our -2, which is like towards the bottom of the league, sadly. But like I said, like there's a possibility that Tyler Shough could just simply have his game of the year and upset the Los Angeles Rams. And that's why I think this could be the game that could be on upset alert for the Los Angeles Rams. Because they're entering a week where they don't know how good Tyler Shough... They're entering this week uncertain of how Tyler Shough will perform because this is his first time starting because they could go either way. Tyler Shough is either going to upset them or he's going to absolutely stink against them. I don't know what's going to come first. You tell me. So yeah. What are my expectations overall for this game? I think I kind of just mentioned it already. I think that the Saints still lose. I think maybe possibly Tyler Shough will maintain the game enough for us to where it's still interesting, but at the same time we just know that we're not going to win. But I think they might have a hidden secret hiding underneath their sleeve, like a nice little trick for a little Halloween trick. You just never know. So, but another thing I want to talk about Tyler Shough here is, other than him spreading the ball or like pushing it downfield, how well can he manage the offense? That's another thing I want to talk about. Because under Tyler Shough, in his 1.5 quarters that he played, I noticed that he managed the ball pretty well, despite having little to no preparation for the first string with the first string offense. And it was noticeable because he did look comfortable out there, and he went up against another really good defense that happens to be a divisional opponent. And for the most part, outside of one interception, which again I've said already that interception really goes against Chris Olave and not Tyler Shuck. I don't really count that for Tyler Shuck because that was just a fluke. But overall, I think Tyler Shuck showed more poise and he was very comfortable in that pocket despite not being able to score any points throughout the rest of the game. Now, I don't think any of us were expecting him to score any points for the rest of the game, given how the offense has played overall against the Bucs. So, my hope is that with this whole week of preparation, that maybe we might be able to score more points this time. Fingers crossed. I don't have too much hope that we will score more than 13 points, maybe. If we're lucky, maybe 17 points. If we're lucky, maybe we might score more than 17 points. But at the same time, I'm not expecting a whole lot. So, but yeah, overall, I think the Rams will take this game, sadly, and I think they will beat us. I think the score to this game is going to be Rams. I think that it's going to be like 31-17. That's kind of what I'm thinking right out of the ballpark. Because I think the defense will hold the Rams offense for the most part. But due to uncertainty with the offense and how they've been performing these last few weeks, I don't have a lot of faith in the offense. And even while Tyler Shuck is under center, it's all a big guessing game. I really just don't know. I have to see with my own two eyes and just go with the flow. And I just realized Bowser's tooth is just in my freaking eye. So, but, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this matchup coming up? What do you think about Tyler Shuck starting this weekend? I'm really excited about Tyler Shuck starting because, I've been expecting him to start at some point during the season. Because, we drafted him pretty high. Our boy Jono in his little podcast, he expected him to start at some point as well. Nick Underhill also was expecting him to start. We all just figured this would eventually happen. I would say we're a little surprised that he started this late, considering we're pretty much at the halfway point of the season. So, I guess better late than never, right? And on top of that, we have to give a lot of credit to Spencer Rattler because he did decent enough to where he didn't give us a good enough reason to bench him up until the last 2 weeks where he just started to fall apart and the pressure got to him. So, and I feel bad for him because I could tell he looked frustrated against the Bucs. It's just nothing went right for him. He could only muster 3 whole points against the Buccaneers, and he made bad passes that led to turnovers. Like the first drive, he lost the football. You just can't do that, man. You really just can't do that. So, but overall, he gave us not a whole lot of reasons up until recently, where we had to bench him. And now the time has come. Now it's Tyler's time to shine. As you all understand my little reference from that one football movie that escapes my memory. But so, yeah. But other than that, not much to talk about the Saints other than what we're expecting, how Tyler's going to do. And we're just hoping for a competitive game nonetheless. So. And, so let's talk about some college football shenanigans that's been happening, revolving around LSU. Excuse me. Yeah. Oh, cat hair. Yuck. Ugh. Sorry, y'all. My cat brushed against my Bowser mask before this video, and I've been flicking cat hair every time I look. So, anyway, sorry about that. College football shenanigans once again, and revolving once again around LSU. And my biggest question is, why is our governor, Jeff Landry, getting involved with football, or really LSU to begin with? What's that about? Mr. Governor, I try to respect you, but I think you're going a little overboard with that. Like, I have, in my entire life living in Louisiana, I was born and raised in Louisiana, from Slidell, Louisiana, a.k.a. the Dirty Dell. But I have never seen a politician that governed Louisiana just absolutely bully a university into firing people that I didn't exactly think deserved to be fired. Like, from what I've been reading from LSU Facebook posts and also message boards and everything, I'm just questioning, why was he fired to begin with? I mean, if no one knows why he was being fired, please fill me in, because I'm a little lost to why he was let go. Because from what I understood is that former LSU athletic director, I think it was James Woodward. I know it's Woodward, but Woodward had provided LSU some really good coaches and has, well, except for football coach. That's a separate thing. But he led LSU to some glorious non-football championship victories with their women's basketball team, to their men's baseball team, and I don't exactly know why they did that. And look, I'm an Ole Miss fan. I shouldn't care about these things, but I read it all the time in the newspaper, and I'll comment now and then. It's like, what are you guys doing over there? So, like, I don't. And from what I heard, that Woodward and Governor Landry had some beef. And while I don't know exactly what the beef was, I don't know if it was political reasons or just simply sports reasons. All I know is there was some kind of beef that I need to do a little extra digging on. Unless you guys know more than me, feel free to comment below. I would love to read the chat. So, but overall, it's been a circus right now at LSU, and I feel like Jeff Landry is kind of overstepping his boundaries as a governor for Louisiana. And I'm not trying to get political here. I try not to. But when it involves a school that I've been hating for my entire life because they are my team's rivals in all sports, I have to take notice, because, like, the governor kind of needs to stay in his lane. Like, I don't mind him making a comment now and then, but when you're actively getting rid of athletic directors at school, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, just stay away, bro. Just let LSU figure things out. Because now that LSU has no athletic director, they have an interim athletic director, which I have zero knowledge about. And from what I've been understanding from LSU message boards and Facebook posts and other social media posts, they're not too happy with that. They all thought that. Oh, 1 second here. I'm getting a phone call. Be right back, guys. 1 second. All right, sorry about that, y'all. It was my sister-in-law. I don't know what she wanted, but I told her I'll call her back. I was in the middle of doing a podcast. So, where was I? Oh, yeah, that's right. LSU and their ongoing problems. So yeah, my short and sweet commentary about LSU's current predicament is that I feel like the governor of Louisiana kind of sabotaged LSU in not the best way. I don't know how you LSU fans feel about that. But to me, having your own state governor get involved with the hiring of a new football head coach to a new athletic director that apparently he approves of, that could tarnish the image of LSU. And look, I hate LSU with all my guts, but it's mainly their sports teams, not the university itself. The LSU's campus is beautiful as hell, and anytime my Rebels go over and play in Death Valley, it's always such a fun time. I love the tailgating experience at LSU, but and at the same time, I love a good competitive rivalry that we have with LSU. And LSU fans may not think Ole Miss and LSU are rivals, but they are rivals. I'm sorry, LSU fans. You have to admit we are rivals, despite the win gap that you have over us. But I'm here to set the record straight. We are indeed rivals, whether y'all like it or not. So, but the thing though is, like, I don't like that LSU's image is suddenly going the wrong direction, because like I said, I like a good competitive LSU team, so that trash talk is at a high level, stakes are at a high level. I just love that sort of thing. That's the beauty of sports, especially college sports, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, women's basketball, you name it. Like, I love that sort of stuff. So, like, when LSU is going downhill, I'm like, it just seems wrong. And I don't think the governor himself is helping their case whatsoever. I think it's tarnishing their image, and whoever coaches LSU's football team next, they're going to see a power-hungry governor who's looking over LSU, because last I saw, LSU does not currently have a university president, which, by the way, what are y'all doing? Why don't you have a university president? So, yeah, it's interesting to see what's going on there in LSU, and I feel like whoever they hire their next head coach, I would be scared for my life, because I'm gonna have a literal Bowser of a governor looking over the university as a whole, and I'm like, if I make one bad game, he's gonna get me fired. So, and now as an Ole Miss fan, I'm actually enjoying it for the most part, because if this continues with the governor getting involved with LSU's athletic department, it probably lessens the chance of Lane Kiffin going to LSU. Excuse me. Even though I said from the beginning he's not leaving, period. So I think that's completely out of the books for LSU. Like, there's just simply no way that LSU's getting Lane Kiffin, no matter what LSU fans say. And yeah, it might be a more attractive job than, say, Ole Miss, but Ole Miss is right now fighting for a potential playoff appearance in a matter of weeks. Now, if we can get through our next 4 games without completely self-sabotaging ourselves like we've done in the past, like last season in particular, we had a second and third chance to put our names out there and make a playoff run despite losing 1 or 2 games, but then we lost a third time, and it completely destroyed us. But the worst one was losing to Kentucky last season. That was the worst one, but we beat them this year, and that's a good thing. But we also almost lost to Washington State, who, last I checked, is still unranked, and that would have been really bad. So these next 4 unranked teams I deem as challenging, because South Carolina last week almost took us down. They almost took down Alabama. So I expect them to bring their A game all together this Saturday coming up. Florida's going to want to throw an upset at us. Citadel, probably not so much. I think that's out. I think the Citadel game should be nothing to be concerned about. And then we got those bastards at Cal State, a.k.a. Mississippi State. They're definitely going to want to look to upset us for sure. So it's going to be an interesting run for Ole Miss, and how they finish the rest of this season will probably determine where Lane Kiffin is going. Even though I am absolutely 100% certain he's staying put at Ole Miss, you just never know with college football, man. Like, I've heard coaches say that I'm not leaving, only for them to leave to another school. So anything can happen in college football, and I'm keeping that with open mind. But I do believe, whether we make the playoffs or not, Lane Kiffin is sticking around because this team, and I entered this season with very low expectations because I thought usually when we have a great, talented roster, like last year, we had our best roster to date and best recruiting class we've ever had. We still didn't make the playoffs, and I was like, okay, the next season will probably not going to be as good because we lost pretty much the entire team to the NFL draft this past April. So, but now that I've seen that we are indeed a good enough team to where we can not only win games, but we are very well coached, that gives me a lot of hope, suddenly. So, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out for the remainder of this season. I'm not expecting us to be in the the SEC championship. I don't expect that. I think it's going to come down to Texas A&M and Georgia or Alabama, one of those two schools, unless both of them start dropping games randomly. Because, like I said, college football is a mystery because you think, yeah, this team's going to win, but they end up losing to double digits, or they lose in a close fight, or they lose in 7 overtimes. LSU fans will know that reference. So, anything can happen in college football. The wildest, craziest things happen in college football. We all know and love that. And it's going to be fascinating from the start. That's why I keep that maybe 2% hope that we make the SEC championship. But at the same time, in today's college world, it's really not necessary to make the SEC championship. Because, I mean, it'll be necessary to get, like, say, maybe a first round bye, maybe, if we're lucky enough. Like, I still think they need to restructure that. I think whoever makes the SEC championship, or really any conference championship game, they should automatically get a first round bye if they win said championship game. Unless it's a team that finished lower than them, that's a different story. I don't know how they need to figure that out, man. They just need to figure that out. So, but yeah. So, what do you guys think about the LSU shenanigans going on with the governor and who do you expect LSU to hire? Because I've seen some noteworthy names other than Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin so far has been the number one on everybody's board. Go figure. But I do think there's some other alternatives, like Summerall from Tulane. That's even though he didn't have a great game this last night against UTSA, they lost pretty poorly. I don't know if that's because his players found out that he could potentially be leaving Tulane, which I get it, because that's how Ole Miss players felt when the whole Lane to Auburn rumors started years ago, that is. So it's like, I understand maybe that's what happened, that played a factor, but we'll see what happens. But Summer would be an intriguing candidate for LSU, if we're being honest here. Drink from Missouri could be an intriguing candidate, but do I see him leaving Missouri? I doubt it. I really do doubt it. James Franklin's out there. I'm just saying, LSU fans, he's a pretty worthy candidate. I know he got fired and all, but that didn't change nothing. Who else would be out there? I know that they're saying Marcus. I think it's Marcus Freeman, the Notre Dame head coach. I've heard his name mentioned a few times, but I don't think LSU fans want another Notre Dame coach after their whole debacle with Brian Kelly, which, by the way, Brian Kelly, oh, Lord have mercy. Maybe he should be singing Peaches. But, oh, God, like, every time I look, I see more Brian Kelly news, like, where, like, the wild one so far is where he went to this Notre Dame recruit's house, had dinner with his family, had 3 whole portions of burnt end pork chops, I think it was, something like that. And you have to correct me on that, or I'll have to look it up myself. But I know he had 3 portions of something that had burnt ends on them. And next thing you know, he leaves their house, and that family finds out he had already taken the LSU job. So like, that was an absolute waste of time. Like, what was that about? Oh man. And then other scenario things I've heard is like Brian Kelly has also treated his staff really poorly. His players just do not like him. In fact, that makes sense because have you seen any of the current LSU players wish him the best or anything like that? They have been stone cold silent. That speaks volumes. Like, I have not seen any, like, usually when a coach is so well respected, like say Nick Saban, for example, when Nick Saban left Alabama, all his former and current Alabama players all were praising him and wishing him the best in retirement and blah, blah, blah. Brian Kelly gets fired and you don't hear a peep. That's crazy, man. I guarantee if Lane Kiffin were to leave Ole Miss, and I don't think that's happening still, if he were to leave Ole Miss, we would hear nothing but praise from former Ole Miss players saying, thank you for everything, wish you the best at said school. You're going to hear nothing but positive things, and that's leaving a great impact on yourself. That's leaving a good legacy behind, and Brian Kelly simply did not have that. He did not have that. I think he was just there for the money, and he treated his staff poorly, his players poorly. Like, it was pretty evident how he treated his players. Like, oh boy. Like, I would see Garrett Nussmeier consistently get upset and throw his helmet down on the field, and he would burst down in tears. It's like, what is Brian Kelly doing to his players, man? In fact, just the other day, I saw a very short Instagram reel. Brian Kelly, they must have had him mic'd up and everything during a practice. He was like literally shouting and screaming at his players, and those guys look so rattled. They really do. It's like, dude, look. Being a head coach, you got to make sure you coach them up well. But that was like a different style of coaching that I'm like, that's a bit borderline abusive. You know what I mean? That's how I pictured it, and it was just an Instagram reel. So I don't know what was going on behind the scenes there, but that gave me a little insight of how Brian Kelly was approaching things at LSU, and yikes. Crazy things happening, man. Crazy things happening. So anyway, but yeah, I think that's all I got for today. Thank y'all for tuning in. I hope y'all Halloween is spooktacular. Happy Halloween, everybody. Make sure you get all the candy in the world. Unless you're going out and drinking alcohol and everything, then, well, make sure you sober up. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Happy Halloween, everybody. Who dat?